I'm sorry, Senator Whitehouse, this isn't your day on climate change.
I don't want it.
So I'm James Kennedy. I write the blog Transport Providence. Thank you. I didn't expect that. You can follow us on Twitter, Transport PVD. You don't follow me yet, but I know Representative Cicilline does. Here's my question. I asked this of you at Nathan Bishop, and you gave me the wrong answer. And I'd like an answer from everybody if possible, but especially from you. I know everyone in this crowd agrees that the infrastructure in this country is falling apart, correct? Here's what is poorly understood about infrastructure. We spend the majority of the money that we spend on infrastructure in this country expanding roads and adding new projects. And we spend it on things like the 610 connector, which you used in your response to me. You were a key voice on Rhode Island Public Radio. We were working to get a meeting with your office. We were talking to your office about having a meeting about the 610 connector. Your office never really followed through on us with that. And then you appeared on Rhode Island Public Radio to say, ridiculously, that we should rebuild the 610 connector as a highway, which was more expensive and less good for commuters. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to get to is we spend most of our money in this country on expanding roads and not on maintaining them. And that means that we have indebtedness that we can never pay. We can't maintain the things that we have because we're not using the money for that. And so my question is, what are you and the other delegates willing to do to put a hold on additional infrastructure spending? Because when we plan to put more money towards infrastructure the way Donald Trump and even Bernie Sanders has said, that doesn't come with any accountability for state DOTs. So they get that money and they use the majority of it to build new highways. It causes more deaths on the roads, it causes more climate change, and it worsens our commutes. What will you do to stand up?
Sorry, you asked me this with Nathan Bishop, and I'm going to give you the same answer. I support infrastructure. I think we need to rebuild 6 and 10. They're standing up on 8x8s. It's 50, 60-year-old highway. If it falls down, we have a problem. They already have put boards underneath where it goes over both the railroad and the underlying roads because pieces are falling off onto traffic below. I am going to fight very hard to make sure that Rhode Island gets infrastructure funding for along our coast to protect against climate change, to do things like move the sewage treatment plant down in Narragansett that is now in a velocity zone, and to make sure that big projects like 6 and 10 we can get done at last. And I'm sorry if we disagree on that. We're working very closely with the city and the state on the plan. We have a plan that the city and the state have agreed to, and I'm going to back the plan that the city and the state have agreed to.
I just want to say, as very much as Sheldon, we have to repair existing infrastructure because frankly, it's a danger to the local republic and to everyone else. The second thing we have to do is we have to emphasize more at the federal level transit, public transit. Existing infrastructure because of the safety problem. We also have to provide resources so we have a more efficient, both in terms of moving people around and environmentally more sensitive way of transportation policy. And we're both, Sheldon, David, Jim, and I are working to see if we get more transit, more innovative ways to move people around for our economy and for our safety.
Let me let David
I think we are all very committed to making sure Rhode Island gets more than its fair share of infrastructure money, and you play a very important role in trying to help us shape.
You get more than that.
You played a very important role, I think, in improving that design. I know you worked a lot with the city and the state. It's not a perfect design, but I think many of the issues you raised and the Transport PVD raised have been incorporated in that. I think it's not perfect. I think you have caused a lot of people to question whether or not investments in highways is appropriate when you think about the impact it has on traffic patterns. I thank you for that. I think you have to continue to be in this discussion. And I think there were really good improvements that were made that were agreed to by the state and the city. And then as the federal delegation, you have to work hard to help them get the resources to do it. But thank you for your efforts.
You have to do Congress.